Hello, everyone. So today I want to talk about the history of what Tourette's was like in my life. So what I want to tell you all is Tourette's and OCD go hand in hand. So I'm gonna tell you all a little bit about my OCD history, but I'm not gonna talk about it too much. So anyways, I want to talk about where Tourette's started. So the Tourette's first started when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. But somewhere around like I believe 10, 11, like, or maybe 12, I'm not sure. But like basically I was watching a movie when suddenly I was making a sound. It was like, and it was a noise I was making, and I didn't know why I was doing it. And then I remember I was trying to go to sleep, and my brother was saying, "Stop it, stop it." And I didn't know why I was doing that. I couldn't help it. And I was saying I couldn't help it, and Mom was standing up for me, saying, like, "Yeah, I really don't think Jay can help it." And then I was doing a different tick, like, the next month, going, mm. But then after that wore off, but then after that happened, I suddenly had no ticks. But then, with the OCD, it first started like when I was like 10 or 11. It was like whatever it was in fourth grade when um when I was eating waffles, and I thought to myself, and like okay, so here's what happened. I was eating waffles and I poured syrup on the waffle, and I thought it needs to fill all the holes. And I felt anxiety if it didn't fit all the holes. Like I was trying to pour syrup on every part of the waffle. And after I ate the waffle, I my mom scolded me, saying like, "Hey, you really should not have eaten all that syrup." And I said, well, I'm really sorry about that. I couldn't help it. I needed to fill all the holes." And that was the beginning of my OCD. But then afterwards, it wasn't really talked about back then. But then when I was 14, like at the start of seventh grade, well, I mean, at the start of 8th grade, what happened was I started to have OCD issues where, like, if I was playing a side-scroller game, like Super Mario Bros. 3, um, I would often have an issue where if I kept pressing forward, I'd sometimes get tired pressing forward, and I'd press backward, and I sometimes, like, press backward often to feel pressure on both sides. And it was crazy. This happened from when I was 14 to like when I was 19. Like that OCD thing was annoying. But anyways, but as for ticks, it was ticks didn't really happen for a while. Didn't even happen in my teenage life, but I mean, I guess there was one time it happened when I was like 18, but it's just weird because like here's what's going on. So basically what happened was like here's what was going on is like I had a classmate who did have Tourette's, and he was doing like these head movements and these high and low voices, and I thought it was just funny that he was doing this stuff, and my brother thought it was funny too. So one day me and my brother were playing tennis, and then I started those same things that my classmate was doing, and I was just copying him. But then suddenly I felt like doing them, and first of all, it was really mean. I'm sorry, Jesus, for doing all that. You certainly passed the Tourette's on to me. It seemed because not long after that I started getting Tourette's. But anyways, it's just weird because I started having Tourette's. But then after I got after we stopped playing tennis, I eventually calmed myself and I stopped having the Tourette's. It's like all the thoughts went away, and yeah, I was I stopped having Tourette's. But then, and after that, the Tourette's didn't come back for a while. But then, lo and behold, the Tourette's came back when I was 20, and basically what I was doing was I was doing the neck twitching, and and what happened was I was doing that, and then after a while, after like a few months, it went away. But then when I was 21, it came back with a vengeance. And so did the OCD. It also came back with a vengeance. Now, back during those years, I was having family issues, and I want to say that I really got depressed during those years. So like, I just want to say so I just want to say yeah, I've been through a lot of hard times, and Dosey was so strong and bad that like I was afraid anything would go wrong, and I mean, intrusive thoughts, yeah, they came like, my intrusive thoughts were most likely that like they were illogical. Like I was very paranoid, and um another thing was it's like, I had to make things even. That was the OCD thing, so it's similar to a other thing where like when I play a video game, I'd have to push the control pad on both sides. But like now it's like what the OCD's turned into is stepping on these with both feet. Now it's turned into like sometimes like turning the turning the hand tilt upside down and pressing like on buttons on both hands. And it's like I've tried to ignore them, or I've tried to sometimes just fight it. And for a while it works, but then it comes back. And I've just given up because like it's really really hard. And I've tried exposure therapy. But anyways, back to the tics. So anyways, they exploded when I was 21, and I really think what happened was my brain chemistry was changing. My brain was still developing, and my brain chemistry was changing. That's what I think happened. And I was starting to hit my head. I was hitting my head, and I was also like my arms were twisting and pushing. I was hitting my head, and yeah, and I was still able to work, like, you know, um, but yeah, and then it's like during my second job, I did have copoalia, but like it was very, very easy to control. Um, it's very easy to control. Like it was barely a problem, but I also had but mostly I had a headache tick and the eye poking tick, which damaged my eye. I had to get cataract surgery and a retina reattachment. But then, but then this was between 2017 to 2021. But then 2022 I moved, and what happened was um, I worked at Moz from June of 2022 to January of 2023, and then I got fired because that's when Copoalia started. And here we are now, where I scream and I say racial slurs. First it was just the N-word, but now it's other. But now it's all kinds of slurs and stuff. So anyways, that's all I have to say. Bye.